All right, we are now joined by representatives of the Dayton Flyers. We have senior Jenna Giacone, senior Aaron Whalen, and head coach Shauna Green. We will start with an opening statement from Coach Green. Then we will move to questions for the student athletes. Once we have dismissed the student athletes, then we'll take questions for Coach Green. So if you'd like to open with an opening statement.
Just really proud of these guys. It was fun to watch them out there today, and I thought that was our best 40 minutes of basketball. We put it all together, but for us it starts with our defense, and just what an unbelievable defensive effort and execution of a game plan by these guys to hold a team like DePaul, you know, the #1 scoring team in the country, to 11, 12, and 13 in 3 quarters is just all credit to these guys, because they really locked in, and with holding this team and being able to hold them to one and done, now we were able to get out and run, and that's what we want to do. We talk all the time, defend, rebound, run, and today was the best performance of that in a while, because we were able to really get our transition going and got a lot of threes out of transition, and played with great pace. So just so unbelievably proud and happy for these guys, especially, you know, our senior group and our 3 super seniors and Kyle and Amari. You know, these guys came back for a purpose, and they came back to play in an NCAA tournament. And I told them, you know, once you get in, you never know what can happen, and they showed that tonight. So just so happy for them.
All right, if you'd like to ask student athletes a question, please raise your hand and wait till the mic gets to you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Sudge with the Dayton Daily News. For Jenna, can you kind of take me into your role, I guess, of coming off the bench? And tonight, I mean, how were you able to find it early from being on the arc?
Yeah, I mean, my role's changed a little bit pretty much every game this year, coming off the bench or starting, but don't really change my mindset with that. Coach makes a decision, I just roll with it, but just come in when my name is called and start playing my game. Obviously, I was feeling it pretty good from behind the arc, like you said. Aaron was too, so we just played free, played some Dayton basketball, and ended up with a win.
And then, Aaron, if I could follow up on that, I mean, in terms of the mindset as a team, I mean, how much did it motivate you guys coming up short in the conference title game, being one of the last teams in the tournament? How much did that kind of motivate you guys coming into tonight?
Yeah, it definitely fueled us. That was something that was in the back of our head. I mean, we knew we just wanted to get here. Once we got here, we knew everything would take care of itself. You know, this team does such a good job of prep. Our coaches are always so prepared and helping us. But, I mean, we play hard. We're not coming here just to play. We're here to compete, and I think we were able to prove that tonight.
Chuck Schaffner, retired AP. Aaron, you went through a stretch there late in the season. I looked, you were like 2 for 27 on threes.
Yes.
Okay, you probably didn't need to be reminded of that. But then you started hitting some. What kind of got you back in the groove?
Yeah, definitely a very frustrating portion of the season. But, I mean, my teammates are doing an amazing job of just keeping me positive. They continue to find me when I was open, and just the motivation from, again, my teammates and coaches just to keep shooting, lots of extra reps, working with the sports psychologist, getting the mental side of it together. But, yeah, I was glad to kind of figure that one out.
So were we.
Tom Purcell, Des Moines Capital. I just wanted to ask you, Jenna, in addition to the 3-point barrage in the first half, it just seemed like your size, and not just in the post, but your size really bothered DePaul. Did you have that sense when you were out on the floor?
I mean, I know I'm a bigger guard. I like to use that to, you know, create a versatile game of mine. I did just see that I had 5 blocks, which I was not aware of. Might be a career high for me in a game. But now I just was playing my game out there and was able to provide for my team.
Aaron, can I just ask you about Jenna? I mean, can you put her role into words and her value, I guess, to you guys as a team this year, and especially here as of late?
Yeah, she's definitely a very crucial portion for our team. I mean, she's everyone's like best friend on the team. So just on and off the court, she really does everything. She can even play point guard, which is insane. So, but just her mindset, her work ethic, like she is a true leader, and it's definitely been fun to be able to play with her these past 4 years.
Chuck Schaffner again. Jenna, I think Dayton had not won an NCAA tournament game since like 2013. Just to be a part of, just to be a part of that, getting back in the win column.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Obviously, being here in a Dayton uniform for 6 years, I've made it a couple times, but was never able to be a part of a win in the tournament. Like Coach said, this is a huge reason of why I and the rest of our group came back, was to make this tournament. And like Aaron said, not just to make it, but to get a win, get 2 wins, 3 wins, whatever we're going to be capable of. And we're just going to keep working every single day. Quick turnaround, but we'll be ready to go.
And then if either you guys or both you guys want to take this, I mean, can you take me into the emotions when you guys are hitting threes like that in the first half? Because you can be the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. I don't think you shoot 12, 14 and a half every night.
Aaron, you want to start first, and then Jenna?
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I mean, it's kind of no feeling can describe it, but I think a big part of this game is just being able to keep your composure. There are so many highs and lows that go throughout the game, and just being able to know next play mentality and kind of having that in the back of your head. But yeah, it's always fun and gets the kind of energy going.
Yeah, I'll second that. It's definitely fun. The freestyle that we play, Coach gives us confidence. If we're open in our transition or offense, let it fly with confidence. That's what we did. So definitely a lot of fun out there today.
All right, we will now move to the remote portion. And please, if you have a question, use the raise hand function. We'll go to Alexa first. And again, please state your name and affiliation.
Hi there, this is Alexa Philhope from ESPN. Since this is the first year that the women's tournament is holding their first four, I was just curious if either of you have any kind of strong feelings on what it's like to kind of be part of that, to play in a play-in game, and what you think it could mean for teams too down the line that are going to have the opportunity to play in the tournament where maybe otherwise they wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, to make it very identical to the men's this year. We just worked all week knowing that our name was going to get called. When we saw it, that it was in the playing game, we just knew we were going to be ready to go and do whatever it took to get a win to move on to that first round game. So we're just very excited for that.
All right, Natalie.
Natalie Hebron with the next. For both players, how does it feel to win that NCAA tournament game, and what will you do to prepare and continue the momentum into your game against Georgia on Friday?
It's an amazing feeling for sure. With this being my first NCAA tournament, I just was honestly super excited just to be here. But like I said earlier, we're here to not just play, but to compete. And so we'll be able to kind of recoup and take that energy and momentum that we were able to gain from this game and just kind of push forward. But yeah, it's a great feeling for sure.
Yeah, again.
Go ahead.
Again, I second that. Like I said earlier, hadn't gotten a win in the NCAA tournament yet. My goal, my mindset all season changed to not just making it, but getting wins in the tournament. So, great feeling to be able to do that today.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll now open it up for questions for Coach Green.
Hey, Coach, I mean, I kind of touched with him on it, but offensively, when you're able to get that type of production from players like Aaron and Jenna, I mean, how much easier does it make it for you guys? And I mean, is it possible to do what you guys are able to do without them?
I mean, they're a huge part of, this team and this program, and they have been a huge part. I mean, Jenna's been here the 6 years I've been here. So, Aaron's been here 4 years. And then you look at what they do, obviously on the floor, but off the floor, and their leadership and how they carry themselves, but also set the standard and really have helped mold these young guys who, last year we had 5 freshmen that are now important pieces as sophomores, and they're just unbelievable players, but they're unbelievable people. and they do things the right way, and just really blessed to have coached them for as long as I have. But huge pieces obviously on the floor, and I'm just so happy that they played well tonight. I'm so happy E played well tonight, because she did. She went through some hard times in the season, but never wavered, and that's what she's capable of doing, is what you saw.
And then if I can follow up on Jenna, I mean, you talked about coaching her for 6 years. I mean, two-parter here. I mean, first off, can you take me into why you guys decided to bring her off the bench like that? And then secondly, do you have like a story or anything that you can share that shows you like her like motivation, I guess, to perform how she does and approach it, how she does every day?
Yeah, I think, with Jenna and Makaira, we've kind of went back and forth with them, who starts, who doesn't. And I give Jenna so much credit. She's a 6-year senior. She was first team, all conference last year. Won a huge piece to this team, and she does not question anything. If she comes off the bench, she comes off the bench. She's ready to go. And I really, at this point, we don't even really make a big deal of it. It's just game to game of who's going to start, who's not. A lot of it depends on matchups. And I actually thought she played really well off the bench today. And I think it may give her some time to just kind of, watch the game, see the flow of the game. And she came in and she was instant offense. So there isn't really a reason to tell you the truth. And I think the story about her is kind of that, is how she is. I mean, the kid has been here 6 years. She's been through multiple injuries. We didn't even know she'd be able to play. If you would have asked me after her sophomore year if she would, play her whole career, I'd say you're crazy. And here she is 6 years later, performing at an elite level, and a huge part of what we're doing. It's all credit to her and who she is as a person.
Chuck Schaffner, I wanted to ask you about, Makaira. See, she jump-started you, before you started that barrage of threes, she kind of jump-started you, and just how important was that to get you going?
And that's kind of why, she has to be on the floor a lot. She's capable of scoring at all 3 levels, and she can get a shot off and get to the rim and score at any point and create her own shot. And she was playing with even more pop to her today, more explosiveness to her today defensively. And she just played really, really well. She had 16 for us, ran the point at times when AB got in some foul trouble, and just was a huge, huge piece on both ends of the floor today.
Moral, she got 28, but she really had to work hard for that. What specifically did you try to do against her?
She had 28. She had 9 of those from the free throw line, and then she was 9 for 25 from the field. I think our length really affected her. If you think about, the league and what they're kind of used to, they don't see a lot of length. They don't see 6'5", 6'3", and we have multiple bodies that we could throw at her. So she's an unbelievable player. Seeing her live and watching all the film on her, seeing her live a couple times, I'm just like, wow. She is a great player, and for only being a freshman, that's scary. But we never had to double her. We just stayed one-on-one with her, and T and Mariah did an unbelievable job of just affecting shots. They got a ton of blocks, and I thought for the most part, it's crazy because she had 17 rebounds, and I felt we did an okay job on her. She just is relentless. It's really amazing what she's capable of doing.
Coach, so is it part of the game plan to kind of get those open looks and see if y'all can hit them? Obviously you guys hit them at an amazing rate in the first half, but offensively, can you take me into kind of what the plan was to have those opportunities?
For us offensively?
Yeah,
that's what we want. I tell them all the time, keep shooting. Keep shooting. I've yelled at E more in her 4 years here to shoot the ball than to not shoot it. I want her to shoot every time she touches it, because I feel like every time she lets that thing fly, I feel like it's going in. So we got the shots out of her. We executed our offense in the half court, and we executed our transition break in off of holding them to one and done. So the difference is that the ball goes in today, and sometimes that ball doesn't go in. And when it does, we look like this, and we look pretty darn good.
And then if I could just get your initial thoughts on playing Georgia on Friday night. I know obviously you haven't had a chance to watch anything, but you guys were in the same tournament over Thanksgiving. So
Yeah, we've seen them. I saw them live. I watched some of them down in Florida when we played in that tournament. You know, I know a couple of their players that, you know, just from watching, and so I don't know a lot. I haven't obviously started prep, but you know, we'll be ready to go and we'll regroup and get prepared very quickly. So I'm excited. I think it's a decent matchup for us. They got a true big, we got true big, so I like the matchup.
All right, we'll now move remotely. And again, if you'd like to ask a question to Coach Green, please use the raise hand function. We'll go first to Alexa.
Hi there, this is Alexa Philhope from ESPN. I was just curious for your thoughts on being in a play-in game and having the women's tournament expand to 68 teams. Are you a fan of it? Do you like the fact that it's going to be opening up opportunities for more schools, or is it kind of weird to have to kind of earn your spot into the, you know, the round of, or the field of 64?
I think this is the NCAA tournament, and the men, you know, you don't really talk about it being a play, like it's NCAA tournament. There's 68 teams on the men, there's 68 teams on the women, and I don't feel like we earn the right by getting selected to the 68 teams, and I think we earn the right with our body of work and you know, the regular season going 25-5. So I look at this, and our team looked at this as we're not playing a game to get into the NCAA tournament. We're in the NCAA tournament, and we're happy to be here, and this is what we've worked for. This is what these players have worked for their entire lives and dreamt about, and now we're here to play. So we don't look at it as that. It's the NCAA tournament. There's 68 teams, and we're one of those 68 teams.
All right, we'll go to Natalie next.
Natalie Hevron with the Next. You mentioned yesterday that you wanted to play fast, but not DePaul fast. And how hopeful was that hot start against such a strong DePaul offense?
Yeah, I knew that our start was going to be critical, especially against a team that's this high-powered offensively. I knew we had to come out and hit shots and score early. I knew our defense, you know, would do what we do because that's how we defend. But the last time we were out in the championship game, we came out and we couldn't hit shots. And then it started kind of going from there. So when we came out and hit those early shots, I felt comfortable. I felt pretty good. And then just kept going from there. So we knew, and we talked about it and really stressed our first 5 minutes in that first battle that we had to win that, and we did.
All right, we'll go to Natalie Hevron again.
Following up on that, how do you carry the momentum from this game into your next matchup on Georgia that's now less than 48 hours away?
I mean, that's the fun part of the NCAA tournament, and you know, we've been in this position before. I've been in this position as an assistant coach here, and you know, you carry the momentum when you have a game like this, and they start believing, and they start having that look in their eye, that the confidence, and it was the same thing when I was here, you know, in 2015, and we made a run to the Elite Eight. You just saw this look and the confidence that they started getting. So we're going to take that confidence and momentum, and we're going to prepare, and we're going to go play against a really good Georgia team. But that's why it's called March Madness, because everyone has a shot and everyone has a chance, and we'll be ready to go. And I know our players will be ready to go, and they'll be ready to compete.
Coach Green, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.
You know, we were an embarrassment to DePaul, the Big East, and ourselves most probably importantly. But at the same time, Dayton was great, and you always want to make sure you give credit to the victor in a situation like this. And they played a really, really great basketball game tonight. I just think we're better than what we showed tonight.
All right, questions for Anissa?
Coach, did their length?
Oh, we'd like to take questions for Anissa first.
I'll do this. Anissa, the coach for Dayton said she thought that they had done a pretty good job on you. And then she looked at the score sheet and you had 17 rebounds. What is it that allows you to get that kind of number of boards against a team that had such length and had such tall players at every possession?
I would just say my determination to go get after the boards. That's something that our team really needs, and I felt like it's something that I had to bring tonight for us to be successful. We also could have did a better job on the boards personally, but it didn't happen.
Chuck Schaffner, have you seen size and length like that before? And and what do you how do you battle that?
I've been playing against size all season. I would say personally it's me. I always say it's me against me. I personally felt like I didn't take my time around the basket. It's a lot of chippy shots that I could have made. A lot of times where I could have dished the ball back out to shooters. So, yeah.
So this was your first NCAA tournament experience. I mean, do you think you can take something from this and maybe learn something to help you take another step?
I know that the scoreboard shows that it's a loss, but I always take every loss as a lesson. So I've learned something from every game that I played this year, wins and losses, and I've learned something tonight as well.
Any more questions here in person for Anissa? Okay, we'll move to remote, and we'll start with Alexa from ESPN. Please state your name and affiliation before you ask the question.
Hi, Nisa. Alexa Philhope from ESPN. You said that you'll learn from tonight. Is there anything that comes to mind? I know it's still fresh, but what do you want to learn, or what do you think you will learn from this experience?
I would say defensively, it's a lot of times where I wasn't as disciplined defensively, taking better shots, focusing around the basket. I feel like it's something that I've been continuously learning all season. So those would be one of the main 3 things.
All right, back to Alexa.
And it looked like, one quick follow-up, and it looked like if even as kind of the score got, the gap got larger, that you were still trying to hustle and, giving it your all out there. What was just kind of going through your mind as you were, just finishing the game and trying to, still make those plays?
When you finish a game and you feel like you gave it your all, there's nothing to be upset about at the end. So I knew that I had to give it my all in every game and even tonight. So there was nothing that I could be upset about. But I could look back on and be like, I could have done this differently, or I could have focused here or been more disciplined.
All right, we'll go to James K. now.
Thank you.
Hi, James K., Chicago Tribune. Anissa, it seemed like in the second half you really attacked the inside, the interior, a lot more than you did in the first half. Was that something that you were looking to do coming out of halftime, and was that something the coaching staff was trying to push forward heading into that time?
Yes, I would say my first shot was a 3. Then I made it, so I felt like I would knock some more shots down. But unfortunately, I didn't. And I know that my strength, and Coach Doug always talk about my percentage around the basket is way better than shooting out from the field. So I knew that I had to play my strengths in the second half.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Anissa? Anissa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anissa.
All right, we will now take questions for Coach Bruno. So if you have a question, please raise your hand.
Coach, did their length, their size all over the court, how much of a factor was that tonight?
Like Anissa says, we play a very difficult schedule, a rigorous schedule, and I do believe that their length definitely was a factor, but at the same time, we have played enough good, strong, big teams. I mean, UConn's not a small team, and it's a very long team themselves, but there's more than just the UConn game. At the same time, their length was definitely a factor, but our lack of ability to display any kind of patience, it's very difficult to make shots that are not open shots. You have to have the patience to get open shots, and this has been a group that's been very hard to get them to understand. The quick shoot mentality has to be tempered by a understanding. If you're open, you can shoot it, but if you're not open, you have to share it, and we were not sharing the ball very well tonight. I think we ended up with 11 assists, and that's always a telltale sign for our team. I just thought we took a lot of terrible bad twos at halftime. I think our four guards were, well, I guess at the end of the game, it was just the second quarter when we went down 16 or 15. It was just continuous bad shot after continuous bad shot, and that's where you have to be able to be patient and quick. You have to be able to combine them. We try to combine them, but it was not. That was really where the situation was. Yes, their length bothered us, but another pass, you can find a good, strong open shot, a better open shot. Tough twos you lose, and we took a lot of tough twos.
Chuck Schaffner, seemed like maybe it was difficult for you to get some transition going. You didn't get a lot of live ball turnovers, and of course they're making a bunch of shots, and you can't rebound and get going. I mean, was that a factor in the game?
Well, they were awesome offensively. I mean, they did a great job of I thought, we knew what they were going to try to do, and they just did a great job. I mean, Whalen and Ciccone together, I think, accounted for just a ton. I mean, they just did a great job of finding the open three-point shooters, and we didn't do a very good job of finding them, and they had a great first half for sure. I think they were 11 for 13 or 11 for 14 at halftime, so that's 33 of their points at halftime of their 54. So we just really didn't do a very good job of getting back out to those three-point shooters, and they were really hot in the first half. It's our job to make them unhot or cold.
But when they're making them like that, is there a kind of a mental thing? Players kind of get disheartened to seeing the other team there, no matter, okay, well, maybe we did guard them, but they still made it.
Well, again, that's basketball, that's competitiveness, and you just have to fight through that, and you have to fight through it. That's all you can say. I mean, you can't let yourself get down. That's what mental toughness is all about.
All right, we'll move to remote, and we'll start with James K.
Hey, Coach.
Hello, James.
What can you just say about the upperclasswomen in this, like on your team, just and what they've meant to your program over the last few years?
James, thank you for that question. It's a great question, and it's an important question to be answered. First of all, to Deja Church and Deepa Kelja, they didn't have to come back this year. They elected to come back. And so, we're very, very appreciative. What did I say in the locker room? I said, basically, this isn't the time for kumbaya right now. This is just too raw. I mean, I can start making a great senior speech right now, but not after what just happened. That'll come here in another week or two when we get a chance to regroup. But the specifically Church and Bekelja, they did not have to come back, and they chose to come back, and we're really thankful to those two for doing that. And then for Sonia and Lexi, those two have been really, really great for our program, and at the same time, they've been a couple of really talented players, and we did in the locker room talk about the seniors and how much we do appreciate the effort that they put into this. It's just, again, the moment is the moment, and I'm looking like James is here. I'm looking like I'm talking to James right here. I mean, I know, where are you, James? You're in the remote world, but I'm staring down at this thing because that's where the sound came from. But they are a great group of seniors, and we started to talk about that a little bit in the locker room, but, you can just tell when a group doesn't want to hear it. It's not the time for it right now. So, but they've been a great, really, really special group of seniors.
All right, we'll go to Alexa Philhope next.
Hi, Doug. Alexa Philhope from ESPN. With Anissa having this sort of experience her freshman year, what do you hope she takes from this to kind of propel her forward into, ideally bigger and better things?
As good as Anissa's been on the floor, I just kind of marveled at her dignity in defeat just a few seconds ago. I mean, the way that she handled this press conference. I mean, there's coaches that don't let players come to press conferences, much less freshmen. And I just, I just thought she was. I don't think I could say it any better than she said it. I mean, she said, how to develop more discipline. I just. Everything that she said, Alexa, I'm not even being able to utter her words, but I mean, I'm sure you got that. Whatever she said, I just seconded it because, I mean, I was just amazed at her poise and dignity here in this tough moment. I don't know if that answered your question, but it's what I think.
That's fine.
She's got,
If I could,
go ahead, follow up, please.
I was just going to ask a follow-up about just kind of the emotions of the last week, just not knowing what was going to happen with your kind of post-season fate to finding out you were going to be in the tournament, to coming here, playing in this new format of a first four game, and tonight, how would you take anything from that, or what was just that whole experience like?
Alexa, first of all, we've believed, and at this tough moment, Coach Bruno here is not apologizing to anybody, anywhere, about whether we belonged in or not, all right? As embarrassing as that basketball was tonight, we belonged in this tournament, and I made sure the players knew that after this was over with. I just, there's no way that we did not belong in this tournament. Now, that said, it would have been a lot more exciting to prove with your actions on the floor that we belonged into the tournament, rather than the coach getting up here after a loss like that and stating the truth as I believe it. So it would have been a lot better for us to have proved it on the floor than for me talking about it. But I really do believe this team earned the right and earned the way into this tournament. So your question about the emotions, yeah, I mean, it was a very emotional week because we really didn't, we were hoping for the best, but we were prepared for the worst. And then when we did get into the tournament, and the people at the NCAA, the people at the committee, these people work hard. They don't just, and everybody jumps on them when things don't go their way. So, it drives me crazy when people jump on that committee or jump on the people, the NCAA. There's a lot of hardworking people there, and so I just really, but to your question, the emotion was crazy. It was a tough. We just didn't play well down the stretch here, and sit there for a week, and then you find the euphoria of going, and then now the crash and burn. And having done this many times, I understand how hard this crash and burn thing is unless you win them all, there's going to be a crash and burn. I mean, there's going to be 3 number 1 seeds here because they're not going to all win the last game, and 3 number 1 seeds are going to crash and burn too. And that's just always very, very difficult. And yet, the emotion was, we were all over the place, but we did get in, and we're happy that we got in, and we're just, like I said, embarrassed that we didn't show better. And that's, I can't have it back, they can't have it back.
All right.
Thank you, Alexa, for all you do for the Big East and women's basketball nationally.
Coach, that's all we've got for you, so thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everybody, for covering women's basketball, and thanks to all the people here at Iowa State. Whenever these events happen, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that do a lot of hard work, so thanks to all of them.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA digital media.